This is the Modern Vibes on Vibes Radio.
We play. Ladies and gentlemen, 11 minutes past 8 a.m. You are on Morning Vibes, and like we promised, mumeitisha umepata ma messages kwa DMs.
Tons mazosa anasema when is the king?
Mwenyewe anakuja lini?
Mwenyewe amefika.
And here in studio we have Professor WAJACKOYAH and his running mate Justina Wamae. Mama Wambo.
Yes.
Karibu sana.
Asante.
Professor, welcome to the show. We are excited to have you here. First things first, nataka tuongee policies, and a lot of questions are coming in from young people. We posted out that the conversation is going to be about what is the agenda for the youth, because a lot of youth have been having apathy, especially towards the election, but somehow now they want to be a part of the conversation. So I can see Joe Peterson Apple questions imengia, big up to Benja, big up to Zile Collections. But right now I want us to start with phone calls. So tupigie simu 0719012700 Professor WAJACKOYAH na running mate wake Justin Wamae wako ndani ya studio, na uko na swali ama kuna kitu unataka kusema, the time is now. I'll only do this for 10 minutes alafu tuingie kwa conversation, si ndio? So tupigie simu saa 0719012700. Kuna mengi tunataka kuambia kwamba unaweza jishindia pesa kwa loto, lakini tutakwambia remember to play responsibly.
That's right.
Right now let's go to the phone line 0719012700. Good morning.
Yeah, morning Pambok.
Tunaongea na nani na ujumbe ni gani?
Hebron hapa hapa Mombasa hapa. Nimerudi tena.
Karibu sana Mombasa in the house.
Sasa mimi namuuliza aje vipi professor? Kazi kwa vijana tatupatia tumpe kura Mombasa ni ama vipi?
Okay.
Sawa.
Quick nice and quick. Hebron hapo anasema kazi kwa vijana huko Mombasa. Hello.
Morning Pambok.
Morning. Swali ni gani na unapiga kutoka area gani?
Professor, good morning.
Morning to you, my friend.
Gotea bado running mate hapo hivyo, masalamu zote kwenu.
Nimesalimika.
Okay, swali ya leo mimi nadaiuliza kwa prof ni. Hizi mashamba zote tutapata wapi? Hizi tutakuwa tuna plant the mambos.
Ati the mambos.
Question.
Unapata watu wametoka hapa na wakaenda, watu wametoka rural yani wakaenda hapa, na alafu watu wa rural wameuza maland. So yangu mimi naomba ni walitafanya the plantation being that me pia na advocacy ya hiyo na napenda hizo mambo.
Yeah.
Yote swali pekee prof.
All right.
Land is also expensive.
Thank you so much. Good morning.
Morning.
Hey, tunaongea na nani? Changamka, swali ni gani? Kwere gani?
Swali ni hii. Mimi nauliza wasanii. Nini atasaidiaje wasanii wenye wako huku chini kwa gava yake?
Wasanii wenye wako chini, how utakuza kisanii? I'm guessing is what he's asking. Let's take some more questions. Remember, you're on Morning Vibes 0719012700. Hello.
Yeah, hello Vibe Radio.
Yes. Sema jina na area unapiga kutoka?
Yeah, ni ujana Piper. Hindi Piper.
Yeah.
Nasema hivi.
Yes. Uliza swali.
Wacha nikupate, ukipiga simu tafadhali kuwa umezima radio yako ndio usikue confused. You can hear the guy is arguing with himself on the radio.
Sikiza sana.
Hello.
Hello, naitwa Boni.
Boni, welcome to the show. Karibu sana.
Yeah, ni Boni kutoka Ecosystem Construction Company. So nilikuwa nataka kuuliza my president hivi.
Yes.
Okay. Nakubali bang, it's just a drug like any other, but ukiangalia maybe youth wengi wamekuwa into it na wamekuwa so much idle on that. So how is he going to regulate it and or like sensitize people on how to use it in a better way more than the way most of the young people do? Sababu unapata mtu ako job but anitumia and then come to useless maybe in some time to come. How is he going to regulate it or sensitize people to use it in a better way?
All right, that's a good question. It's talking about regulation of the marijuana. Hello. Remember, you on Morning Vibes, 16 minutes past 8 a.m. We got Professor WAJACKOYAH and his running mate Justin Wamae in studio. Roots Party. Uko na swali?
Yeah, niaje kwa box.
Fiti sana. Tafadhali zima radio yako.
Mimi swali yangu ni kuhusu vote.
Votes,
Hello.
tunakupata.
Watu wengi unajua hatukuchukua kura. Sasa anaweza ongea kama ni serikali ipitie siku hata moja tuchukue kura.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. So anasema about registration, voter registration. Extension was hello.
Hello?
Good morning.
Morning, kwa box.
Hey, chalo Oti.
Yeah man, ndio
Sema.
mimi hapa mwenyewe. Salamia PROF.WAJACKOYAH.
Yo man, wagwan man.
Yeah man, nothing agwan president. Wagwan.
Yeah, I got all on you man. Take some porridge today morning. Yo.
Morning to our first lady there.
Nasalimika.
Okay, sasa Wajakoya.
Yes sir.
Kwanza big up sana. Tumefurahia sana kusikia Ratman anataka kusimama rais bwana. Tuko nyuma yako. Sasa swali yangu.
Yes.
Unajua mimi ni mtu wa local manufacturers bwana. Mimi unganga viatu hapa, viatu kali sana tukiuza. Lakini sasa huku tumekosa soko mazee. Mtumba ni kama yani imetupiga kweli yani mpaka tunakosa market huku chini. Sasa tukikuingiza huko mbele, utatuhakikishaje yani tufanye kazi ili hii mali yetu tunaunda hapa zipate soko. Alafu swali la pili.
Yes.
Hii bangi inakuwa legalized ya kama medicine ama inakuwa ni kuvutwa, na kama watu watavuta hii bangi uone kama italeta shida sana, maana kuna watu hawajui control hii bangi, wakivuta hii bangi wanafanya fujo sana ama familia nyingi zinaharibika sababu ya hiyo. Kwa hiyo mama wili peke yake.
That's Oti from Likoni. We're going to take 2 more phone calls and then take a break. Guys, remember you are on Morning Vibes. Pia unaweza tumia hashtag kwa Box and Kev ama Facebook cheza kama wewe Vibes Radio KE. Hello.
Hello, radio.
Yes, tunaongea na nani mwenzetu?
Arui kutoka market. Ningependa kuja PROF.WAJACKOYAH aje. What will he do if he doesn't win the election?
Okay.
That's a speculation.
Should he not win? Ama?
What will atafanya nini? How will he do kama the election?
Okay. Asante sana, Joe.
All right. And finally, we're going to take, this is our second last call. Hello.
Hello, this
Hey.
is Lennox.
Lennox, tunapiga kutoka area gani? Mwea, welcome to the show.
Swali?
Yeah, niko na swali tu moja. Tunaweza funguliwa yani hii stuff ya kuvote. Kuchukua vote.
Umeregister? Umechange mind. And our final question. Hello.
Yeah,
hey, tunaongea na nani?
Mwangi Avisa.
Mwangi, karibu sana. Swali lako ni gani?
Niko yenye mtandao niko ngoja profesa hapo hizo.
Amegoteka.
Asante.
Yeah, so uliza.
Mwangi uliza swali.
Speak up, Mas. Ongea kwa nguvu bana.
Nauliza. Hiyo story ya kura. Alafu ationgeze atafanyia vijana kuingia.
Okay, all right. And Mwangi just wraps it up. He has a more general question. And I'm sure umesikia a lot of those questions coming in. Most of the people who are calling are very young from all across the country, very interested to hear what you have to say. So the juncture is yours.
Thank you. And I you know where I come from. Ladies come first. But I want to take this opportunity to thank everybody that is online. I and the deputy leader, who is a potential president after my first term, I will only go for 1 term. And if Kenyans want to elect Justina, that's okay. And if anything goes wrong, I will have her step into my shoes. That's how simple we are.
Interesting.
So I am talking and addressing the nation in 2 ways. The first way is I'm grateful to you, even though I had refused to come here, but today I'm very grateful I've come in.
We're lucky to have you here.
Yes, and I would also like to address my deputy as Her Excellency.
Yeah.
Because she deserves. She went through very rigorous oil.
Yeah.
And obviously, we are very happy to have her in our party. Now, vijana wameuliza maswali mengi sana, na haya maswali tutajibu concurrently. Makamu atajibu, na najua nitalemewa mahali mingi, manake yeye akona mathematics mingi sana. Unajua huwezi kushindana na mama akiwa mahali. Justina is here, she's married, the husband is out there, and she's morally correct. Let me put it that way.
Yeah.
Now, when it comes to the question from Mombasa on employment, jamaa ingawa rafiki yangu sikushika jina lako, lakini nimeshukuru sana vile umesema kwamba mayouth watakuaje. Mombasa ni mahali ambapo bangi ikimea itamea kwa wingi, kutokea Malindi, Kilifi, kwenda kule chini mpaka Lamu. Hiyo zone yote hiyo inamea ile banki nywe, kulingana na statistics ambazo tuko nazo za soil, udongo ya hali hiyo. Watu wa Mombasa wamenyanyazwa sana for a very long time. Hata port wameibiwa port yao. Port imechukuliwa. Wale ambao walikuwa wakifanya kazi ya kubeba mizigo na abiria wa malori ile ambayo ilikuwa inasafirisha mizigo kutoka Mombasa kuelekea kule ughaibuni, wakati Kachuma kalikuja kenye kaliletwa na Mchinese hapa kutoka Mombasa mpaka Naivasha, na bara likahamishwa kwenda Naivasha. Kitu ya kwanza tutafanya ni kuvunja hiyo bara. We shall do away with that inland port, na wenye wali make a decision to take there, tutajua ni kina nani. Tutataka kujua ni nani wana own hiyo land, na kama kutakuwa na mtu ambaye alitumia pesa za umma kufanya namna hivyo, he will be accountable. Whoever made that decision will be accountable to the roots government in the first 100 days. We shall return the port where it is, and we shall make sure that those businessmen whose businesses were taken away, especially in infrastructure and transportation businesses, who had taken collateral, wale ambao walichukua mkopo, those whose lorries are lying behind, those who have lost profits, those who have been declared bankrupt, we shall recompensate all of them. Manake hizo makampuni zilikuwa zinaajiri watu karibu 1500, wale matandi boy na wale madereva. Hao wote they were made redundant kwa hii kakitu ya Mchinese ambaye hata kakafanya ni alafu kakapewa monopoly. Kwa hivyo mwenzangu kutoka Mombasa, ajira itakuwako, bangi itakuwako kwa wingi, lakini sio bangi ya kuvuta. Hiyo mwenzangu ataongea pale. Lakini ukienda kwa swali la pili, na nitamwachia mwenzangu swali la 3 na 4. Ile ambayo jamaa amesema kwamba ndio watu wamewanyanyaza wa Kenya, wameiba udongo wao, ardhi yao kwa wingi. We shall implement Ndung report in the first 100 days. And I'm not joking. I'm not a joker. I never joke in what I do. My children know me. Those around me know me. If that report is still there and is lying in the cupboard, wenye wamechukua hayo mashamba wairudishe sahi na waombe msamaha. Wow. There will be no case. How do you own land which is equivalent to the entire Nyanza? Kwani hii shamba utaweka mfukoni ukienda wapi? Nyinyi waizi kabisa nyinyi. Haki ya Mungu wallahi, I swear to God, that land will be returned to Kenyans. But
before she jumps into that, I want to ask that one about land. Someone will say, because we've had leaders who've gone in, if for example in Nairobi, our former governor, who has his own issues, mentioned that one of the big things in trying to combat corruption is the cartels, right? Now, Roots Party, how many people do you have in there to be able to have the what I'm looking for, goodwill to be able to execute some of these things? Some of the offices, like you're talking about civil servants. I've just seen a report about Ministry of Lands, where a lot of people grabbed land, and these are not elected officials. These are civil servants who can make your life a living hell as the president if they think that maybe you're trying to overturn things and they already have a system in there. How are you going to fight that?
Death penalty. In China, they hang you. In Japan, if you suspect yourself to have committed crime, corruption, you commit suicide. In England, they jail you. In Kenya, you go to parliament. Mark my words. I will execute all of them.
But how will you change the culture? Because corruption, especially amongst Kenyans, you have people who say that ni source, knowing very well they don't know the source of the money, which means there's an endorsement over the fact that you steal from other people. If you look at young people right now, we were talking about how Scotland Yard was talking about here in Kenya, young people are involved in conning of sophisticated nature, using stealing people's money with credit cards and then putting in cryptocurrency, which means even the young people are like, I just want to get a leg up. How do you then change it? You've spoken about Japan. This is part of their culture, where you commit suicide because of honor. Do Kenyans have honor?
Let me tell you this. There are so many issues that we are facing, which were inherited. Before a white man came in this country to take over, Kenyans were at peace. There was no theft, there was no this corruption. But when our first government took over, we did very well with the Mzee Jomo Kenyatta. Our infrastructure was okay. Countries like Cuba and UK used to come here, and Singapore and Malaysia, they came and borrowed our systems at that particular time. Cuba borrowed our healthcare system. UK borrowed from us, even though they had been our colonial masters. Singapore came and borrowed the blueprint of Nairobi city. If you look at Singapore, the tunnels and everything, that blueprint was taken from here, which has not been implemented since colonial days. Now, if you look at Malaysia, they came and borrowed money from here. We were in heaven. A shilling was for $1, a shilling was for £1. There's nothing impossible. But because of this system, let me tell you, once we suspend the constitution and we ask Kenyans to review the constitution, and then we look at the legislation, I will be ruling by decree, because the first preamble tells me, or says we the people, and that's why Raila went to swear himself in, and nothing could have happened to him. This mentality of saying, oh, parliament inasema hivi, oh, constitution inasema hivi, is going to be a thing of the past. We are going to rule by decree, by the will of the people for the first 6 months, to ask Kenyans what went wrong. Why can't we restore our dignity? What will we do? If Kenyans say yes, like they have done now, which is now an ongoing revolution, which will never be stopped, even if I'm killed today or Justina, things are going to be okay. So this issue of sophistication and nini is just lack of proper management of the people of this country. Let us grow weed. Let us have enough money. If you look at the stock exchange today, 50 kgs of wheat is $302 million US. If we grow 1,000 acres, or we go to Gulana, wherever it is, as my deputy will explain, the problem will be over. But I'll let her go that direction.
One final one. The death penalty. Now, the reason why we have the death penalty, why it's still, in fact, who put it in the constitution? Someone would say we're not a banana republic. There are foreign interests that do not ascribe to the death penalty, for example. How will you circumnavigate that?
Kenya is going to be a sovereign state. I will not be dictated by foreign masters. Kagame is not doing the same. He has told them to go to hell.
But it comes at a price.
Which price?
For example, kicking out Mutumba, right?
Let me tell you this. You are talking to a president, not a president. With an S or what have you. You are talking to a man who has been there in all these cultures, a man who advises presidents of other countries. I've taken part in revolutions to overthrow some governments in this world. I will say that.
But Prof,
I am not just here by design. I'm here by the will of Jah. And where Jah is, everything goes right. If you go to Greater Somalia today, Greater Somalia was not there before. It hived itself, it brought in law, and now that is the place, the Great Somaliland. If you go in, you can leave your money outside the door, and nobody will touch it. Kenyans, when they have enough money, what are we talking about? This stealing, theft by telephone, or what have you? That will be a thing of the past in the first 2 years of our administration. We are realistic, we are real. We are not jokers. We are not going to have a judiciary like the one we have here. We shall ask Kenyans, do you want this kind of judiciary? Or do you want to bring in another formula? Do you want to go the Sierra Leonean way? Or do you want to go the Indian way? Do you want to take everything to court? Or do you want not to take everything to court? Do you want this kind of regulation whereby if you are caught with a roll of bang, you are putting maximum, which is 50 years, like they jailed a poor man in Mandera recently and fined him 63 million shillings? Or do you want to look at something where it comes to domestic arbitration of issues, like what is happening in civilized world? Do you want to have a land of punitive legislation? Everything small, hata gari yako ikistole hapa, hii kabarabara wa Chinese wameweka hapa, unawekewa nini? Kenya is not going to be an extension of China. Kenya is not going to be an extension of Britain. Kenya is not going to be an extension of anybody. We are the people's project. Let me make it very clear. Wengine wameanza kusema to ni project ya Raila, washindwe. Wengine wanasema to ni project ya Ruto, washindwe. We are the project of the people of this republic. That's why they are wanaunda muziki kila siku, Kenyans are undering. But let me not go there. We are going in, and Justina is not a joke. Even I fear her.
But you. Prof, I want to touch on that, the matters judicial na hizi cases imekuwa hapa since kitambo sana. Are you willing to revisit historical injustices? Mambo kama ya land, for example, even the Robotoko case, there's so much going on in the past. Are you willing to
In
revisit
the
them
first 100
and give-
days,
Yes.
we are reviving everything.
Jesus.
Law doesn't rot. Crime doesn't rot. Ikiwa Ndung report is there and it's genuine, we are going to implement it. Na mtu asija akasema that I'm just talking.
Yes.
My friend, if you look at my history, I don't drink alcohol, therefore you cannot say that whatever I say is as a result of intoxication.
Yes.
I don't smoke anything, so you can't come that way. I don't eat meat. I don't eat fish. I am who I am at 62 years. I've made things happen in other parts of the world. Why not in our own country?
Okay.
Justina, before I get to you, I want on a personal touch from your family. How's the experience been? Because in the past, I think it's been 6 months. Life has really and I want to state it very clear. We do know about 2010. We do know about you coming back to Kenya, but the past 6 months or less, it has been a roller coaster. How is the family? How your people taking it?
Well, my children who have not been here as a result of the inequities that happened before, they are grown up, they work in UK, some of them are academic like myself. They really don't care about African politics because they don't know. They are used to the British system. Their mother, who is an American, who lives in American, she's a flight attendant, what have you, just prays that Kenya becomes a better place.
Right.
She says, look, this is a beautiful country. Whenever she comes here and she goes into these mountains and what have you, and she's a prayer for women, and I'm putting the clergy on notice that I'm not certain the way they think. I have a wife who, in herself, she's a pastor. She can preach and at times I say, tafadhali wacha kwanza niongee na watu wangu wacha. So my family has taken it well. My children really don't care much, but I've tried to tell them, look, this is your country. I've made them apply for dual nationality. We thank the Department of Immigration here. My family is taking it the way it is, because my wife is pained whenever she comes here and sees young women, young girls on the streets walking that way, going to do her hair, and she sees what goes on. The potential that we have, which the government has not recognized, is what we are going to recognize.
Justina,
Yes.
when Professor speaks, he speaks with so much information, including yourself. But someone says that the Kenyan electorate are pending in 4, wanapenda 2. Tialala! Wow!
Wanapenda theatrics on stage.
Theatrics,
Dance,
cinema,
go,
right? I was watching your interview with Professor when he was talking about the snake,
Yes.
right? And you can get it from an entrepreneur's perspective, but you're just like, oh, unajua snakes na witchcraft na you have a population that sees things in a different way. How's that been? So first, mulipatana aje?
Prof, you'll share ama niseme?
Sasa ni wakati wako.
Ni wangu. Okay, so my husband one day saw a photo of Prof. He was wearing a Gideon boot and a khaki suit on Facebook.
Nice.
So he sent me the photo and I was like, this guy is interesting. I like his idea. My husband has been to the US. It's from the diaspora. So there was this advert that was floated for women leaders, whether if you'd be interested to be a running mate for Roots Party. Then having followed Prof from the day my husband showed me, I realized he has the solutions to our problems. So I sent in my CV that I'd done in 2018 for a PS position. That time, we had been told that government is free and fair and there are opportunities for the youth. So that's the same CV I sent to Roots Party. And then we were called in for an interview. We were 9 of us. And there was this, the secretariat was headed by a retired judge. So we went in with my spouse, because the Roots Party also recognizes that for the family unit. So we did the interview and we were told, you go, we'll give you feedback. Then eventually we were told that we were successful. I'm saying we because we were done the interview with my husband.
Yeah.
And the idea is that already we have 2 votes from my house, mine and my husband's.
Yeah.
So after that, we started the process. And why I chose to run or to be in Roots Party is because the other elections have been in other parties. It's basically promises. But Roots Party is offering the solutions to the Kenyan problem. Unemployment, cost of high living. You hear the guy who's saying he makes shoes. It's expensive. How are we going to do the balance between Mutumba and local textile industries? So there was a solution for all this, and that is why I chose to be in Roots Party.
Ukiangalia, I was watching your campaign style, which a lot of political pundits wanasema huyu hata wajafanya inaitwaje rally and I remember I needed to understand why you guys are choosing what we'd call the fray. And so I went back to 2010 and I was listening to Prof saying, I'm going to go for the diaspora and the Indians. So do you find the gap You know, because there are people who majority, maybe the other parties don't speak to. How is this what you guys are going for? Because we're looking at the front page of the paper. You can see they're saying that where they are paying points, and they are camping. These are 36 rallies in Central, 15. You know, so wanatry kuibiana. Lakini nyinyi hata muibiani mtu yote, munaenda kwa wale ambao sijayo nao wengine kwa club.
Kwambox, you know, in politics, I've been there before, and I realized, you see these people you see in every rally. If Roots goes there, you'll find them. If someone else goes there, you'll find them. On the political brokers. But our idea, we are not even mobilizing. We are getting to, like we're in Kiambu on Sunday. We never mobilize for no one mobilized for us. We don't want to deal with brokers. We went there, we called people came and listened to us. Those are the genuine voters. Those are the people who know what is pain in Kenya. So our idea is very different. And we are appealing to the hearts and minds of Kenyans. You know, leadership or the presidency is seen from the hard aspect of legislations and regulations, but as we are looking at the soft aspect of it, the hearts and minds, what is the heart of a Kenyan saying? The cost of living is high, unemployment is high, taxation is high. The Wasanis, there's a question on Wasanis, how are we going to help them? And why the Amsani is complaining? Let me give you an example of the skiza. Sorry to use that, but the skiza, you're told you pay 1 shilling and 50 cents. 70% goes to the telcos, 30% of what remains, but okay, 100% of the 30% which remains goes to the dealers or the PRSQs. I know there was this says that. So now, what you aim to achieve as Roots Party is to have a profitable government where we are also in business in the marijuana industry, so that we can reduce taxes, we can reduce the debt, and have our own money to run our own projects. Remember, what is ailing Kenyans right now is taxes. KRA is saying that, they have a deficit because they cannot widen the tax net.
Her Excellency.
Yes.
Nimeambiwa lazima tuongeze kwa Kiswahili hapo. Ile shida hapa nayo. Hiyo ndio tunataka watu wasikie. Alafu sasa nataka hapo sasa tuache promises tuingie sasa nitty-gritty.
Yes.
Marijuana, right? First you have, he's just mentioned the churches that are like, yo, this is against God. And then you have parents, homes that have been destroyed by marijuana. So already changing the perception. And then there is the infrastructure, right? Which one of our listeners has asked, hata watu hatuna land tutafanya aje? And then also the selling of it, because I'm sure it is a competitive market. Hey, Kenya umekuja na marijuana yenu, sawa, ingieni hapa. So what are your plans?
Okay, number 1, niseme hivi wa Kenya wenzangu. Idea ya Roots Party na marijuana, ndio kweli tuna recognize kuna watu wanasema nyumbani kwetu watu wameharibiwa na bangi. But kuna swali ningeuliza. Bali inatengeneza pombe, tobacco inatengeneza sigara. Ni watu wangapi wanakufa kutokana na tobacco ama cigarette use? 300 people every week. Wow. Nayo bali ama pombe, 3 million people annually wanakufa na hizi relations za pombe na tobacco. Pia tuongee maneno ya condoms na P2s. Wale mademo wananunua P2 over the counter, which is readily available. Uki abuse in later in life utasema sikuwa na mtoto, nilikosa mtoto. So the issue is about abuse. To deal na hii abuse yenye iko, because kuna watu wanakunywa pombe, kuna alcohol addicts, cigarette addicts, P2 addicts, wote. Hii issue ya kusema marijuana imemaliza wa Kenya. Mjue ya kwamba hii rule ilikuja 2001. 2001 nakumbuka kulikuwa na shida sana hiyo serikali iliyokuwa. Kwa sababu teacher strike, banker strike, kulikuwa na strike nyingi. Na economically wako na pesa. IMF ikaambia serikali ya Kenya, andikeni mswada ya kwamba bangi ni mbaya. Lakini remember, IMF ni kina nani? China iko hapo, UK iko hapo, France wako hapo, na wao wametupatia hii deni 9 trillion. Walika hivyo wakaona Mkenya ni mfala sana, ni mjinga. Nyinyi tuwapee pesa, lakini sisi hiyo pesa yenye tutatumia kuwapatia loan inatokana na industrial hemp ama bangi. So the mindset tunataka kubadilisha Mkenya ni kwamba tuko na mashamba yetu, tuko na labor that is available. Mbona tupatiwe loan at high interest na tunaweza panda hii kitu? I know the market is competitive, but Prof alikuwa US juzi. Na Prof utawaambia venye watu wanakuambia the pharmaceuticals, watu wa textiles wanamwambia the demand for easy industrial hemp products is there, because mafuta ya kujipaka ukimaliza leo utanunua. Nguo ikiraruka in the textile industry utanunua nguo nyingine. Kwa hivyo it is a continuous process. Lakini pia si tunaangalia local economies. Tuta export ndio, but tuangalia local economies. Ma youth wako hapa. Kuna wale wa youth wako unemployed. Na kuna wale wa youth wako na challenge ya self-employment. Ukiangalia the environment is not conducive. Wenye wanatafuta employment, industries itakuwa local industries in the 9 sectors. paper and plastic. Printing paper ziko na bei sahi. Textile, construction. Ujue say tunasema mawe ya Ndarugo is not sustainable anymore. Industrial hemp inatengeneza mpaka bricks. Unaona? There are 9 sectors that can, even cosmetics. We buy lipstick, unaona Kenyan lipstick, unaambiwa ni 2K. Ule mwenye ametengeneza ama the person behind it anajua the cost of production. Baby, lakini in Kenya tukiamua ni 2K, unaona mimi ndanunua ya so pale chini. Tunataka mpaka watu wa cosmetics hiyo industry igrow. They use local industrial hemp kutengeneza cosmetics zao. So the idea, the nini is there. The market is there internationally and locally because we want to focus na yota manufacturing na industrialization.
Na ukiangalia manufacturing, ukiongea na Kenya Association of Manufacturers and a lot of big manufacturing firms, you can even call them like coming from outside wanting to do business here, wanasema the cost of doing business in Kenya, even just the environment in itself ni hard. So nasikia a lot of manufacturing kwa hii risto yako, lakini sasa tutamekaje hiyo environment kwe conducive? Hata ukiuliza the cottage industries hapa wanasema mazi taxes on everything, the setting up a biashara inakuanga difficult. So niko na hii product fiti, lakini by the time ina hit market hata nifadhali wachane nayo. So hii utapambanaje na hiyo?
Tuanzilie kwanza corruption. Prof amesema vieta deal nao. Ujue hizo kickbacks ndio zina deter watu kuingia kwa business. Tuingie sasa taxes na licenses. Hizo unajua is a way for government kutafuta pesa yao ku run projects. Na that is why tumesema sisi we are a profitable government because tutakuwa na industrial hemp yetu tunauza. So we won't need kusukuma Mkenya ati tuongeze taxes ndio tuweze kusustain government projects. Unaona? We won't need kukimbia kuchukua deni that we are going to pay at high interest rate ku run government projects. We are very creative in how as a government we look for funding and it is through legalizing and regulation of marijuana. Unaona sasa hata hizi industries ikiwa hapa hiyo 30% wanakatwa corporate tax. It's not a massive 30%. Hata ikibaki 30%, they will have the demand and the supply and the manufacturing process itself. Itakuwa so high that hata akitulipa 30%, atakuwa anatumia KRA bila kushinda kifuatwa na KRA. The idea is widening the tax base. Unaona? Kila mtu asikie uchungu. Kama saa hata wasanii, hata asikie uchungu ati wanakatwa hizo pesa na hao pia excuse ama wengine because the money will be there. Royalties, they won't need to, the MCSK won't need to carry police to enforce this thing. Unajua wanabeba polisi kwenda kufinya Mkenya mwenye ana do ni kama kuomba inzi damu. That is what I always say.
My goodness.
Imagine uko na hoteli, uko na teli, unaona kuna ngoma za Kenya zina play hapo. Hiyo hoteli yako ulifungwa asubuhi, maybe it is them mandazi umeuza ni kaa 3, watu hawana do. So we want to increase the purchasing power of Kenyans. Ndio Mkenya atakikula hapo mandazi, wewe umeuza so much, hata ukiambia uchukue license ya MCSK una shida nayo. Challenge ni kuweka pesa mfukoni, kuongeza the purchasing power ya Mkenya, na ndio tunafanya.
So pesa mfukoni. Madam running mate.
Yes.
Sasa ukiangalia today on
the Justina wa mai.
Kuna watu wamesema first lady no she's a running mate.
Yes.
In fact, before you go on, I think it's better also you expand on the biblical aspect of hemp.
Okay.
Jiwaambie makanisa ambayo inatuingilia kila siku.
Mimi naweza sema mimi huenda church. Lakini church kuna kitu nataka kuwa challenge. There is a story that is told. Mtoto alizaliwa, alafu pale kwa kabati alikuwa anaonanga kitabu. So every year na grow anaona no one touches that book. Akauliza hii kitabu ni gani? Mzazi wake akamwambia ni ya Mungu. Akasema si uchukue pelekee Mungu basi kama mwisomi. What am I saying? Churches acheni kufocus ati kuchagua zile verses zinawafaa. Ati toeni tithe fanyeni hivi. Empower our people kwa kuwafungua akili. Mimi nawaacha na 3 verses. Genesis 1:12 hub iko hapo. Ezekiel 34:29 hub ndio ilitumika kusaidia Waisraeli wakiwa kule hiyo slavery. Na Deuteronomy 15:6 inasema we shall not borrow but we shall lend to other nations. Tuondoke historia kukopa na madeni mingi.
So
lakini
niko na swali. Anakaraka ukiangalia the standard today wanasema myth of youth vote unmasked. So apparently page 4 wanasema there's only about 39% of registered voters who are youth out of the 100. So out of 22 million registered voters, only 8 million are youth. So amongst that 8 million, clearly itagawanyika.
Na pia wame recede. The ones that voted in 2017 kuna wengi ambao hawatapoteza.
So my question is, ukiangalia vile campaigns imekuwa ziki go down, you guys in the club, you're in most places where the youth are. My question to you is, how will you capture all of them? Vile wako kiasi sana, and are you surprised by these numbers?
And you also answer the guy, think maybe make it twofold. There's people who've asked ongea IBC wafungue tu
extend
because apathy imeisha.
Unajua ile kitu nitasema ni juzi nilikuwa Marekani, Uingereza na Canada. Na ni jambo la kusisitiza kwamba the diaspora wanaleta pesa mingi lakini hawana vote. In the US I'm told only 100 were able to register as voters because of the because of the infrastructural dynamics. Muta kwa meka Florida anaambiwa ende Washington DC kuregister ndio arudi huko. Na unajua Kenya wengi hawana makaratasi ama wenye wana kazi hawana ile ajira ya kutoa hizo pesa. Kwa hivyo IBC has fallen under grace. Wangeenda hizo vitu zote kuregister wa Kenya, but if they did it deliberately na pesa wamepewa, shauri yao. Britain the same thing. Ndio naona mnafiki mwingine ameenda huko kuregister tribe yake, sitasema ni nani, anaenda huko anapeana zile pesa zimeibiwa hapa, anaunda hao watu. Kwa hivyo out of the 100 wale ambao wako register, tunaambiwa the majority ni mnafiki fulani katika nchi, but that is okay. Now when it comes to the youth voting, we are not targeting the youth. We are targeting Kenyans. But the youth are now using themselves to reach out to their parents and telling them, you old folks, tumeona hii kitu tangu tuzaliwe, tumefika hapa hatuna ajira, tuko na loans za kulipa kule, tafadhali ende tufanye change. A lot of parents have changed their minds. Kama Nakuru jana, one aspirant said, Professor, just come. Na akapigia my deputy wakakutana, asema kujeni tu, msikuja na pesa. In fact we don't have money, but it's people who are doing what they're doing. T-shirts, what have you. Hata wengine wameniambia ati nipeleka wa vijana koti. Nikasema pana. If my name is good and Justina's name is good and you can use it, why would we take you to court? Lakini kama kungekuwa wale wengine, we are not greedy. People are making more money than we have, but we are happy when they are putting something on their table. Therefore, Kenyans are going to vote en masse. The attitude is changing. The dynamics are changing.
But why the clubs, Prof? Watu wanasema, hata kuja church, ama kuja hata
kwa church on Sunday. Baptist Sunday. Wacha niongeze hiyo story ya youth. Youth ndio wana spread gospel. Tunaambia wazazi na wasikia hapa, na youth wende waambia mzazi wako. Si tunajua ukitoka form 4 your parents pay for your fees baka university. In fact, we want to change the relationship of how Kenyans handle money. A Kenyan, an average Kenyan, the relationship yake na pesa inazanga 25 years ukitoka kampo. An average Kenyan, na mwenye amekosa job hata unaweza fika 40 OJ manage pesa yako. You still live at home, mzazi wako anakupatia food, alikusomesha. Hata wazazi tunawaambia mko na challenge, mlichukua malon kusomesha watu wenyu. The vision was mtu wenyu akaweze kukua independent, financially independent. Hizo serikali zote, watu wenye wamekuwa kwa siasa since ni kwa 10 years old, wote wenye tunashindana nao wamekuwa in politics directly or indirectly. If they didn't do what they are saying now, surely don't expect them to do anything. So you as a parent, jitingize hivi kichwa useme mimi naumia juu mtoto wangu hajajisimamia, ameenda amepata grandchildren, always wafukuza. Unajua ni maisha. Mtu akifika 25 anataka kupata familia yake. So tunawaambia wewe kama mzazi, angalia ile challenge mtoto wako ako nayo. And is it the same situation unataka kuachia grandchildren wako? Because as it is, watu watacha kuoana because hauna pesa ya kupatia ya kulisha family.
Niko na ingine.
Unaishi home. So wazazi muangalie hiyo situation.
Sasa kuna swali lingine. What we noticed kwa last parliament ni kulikuwa na lack of independence. In fact, we can even go as far as to say hakukuwa na opposition. Right? Nika kila mtu alikuwa na panda to orders coming from above. Now looking at Roots Party, and I know that you said that the movement has begun. Say we wake up August 10th and you guys are in State House. Have you planned the cabinet? Alafu, how will you deal with a majority? Because I'm looking at most of the people who are running, I'm barely seeing MPs, MCAs who are for Roots Party. So how will you be able to enforce some of these things? And I know you said the will of the people, right? But then there's the will of the people also represented in parliament. So if they decide to make your life a living hell and grind everything to a stop, it's possible.
You are speaking to a potential president. And I said president, not president. I'm telling you, I've also told to the other radio that I'm going to be a dictator as far as corruption is concerned, and we shall dictate economics because we want Kenyans to come out of this debt. Secondly, when you talk of the will of the people, we are tired of that activism. We have had the former Chief Justice Mutunga being given the opportunity, but did he work? He'd been fighting for all that. We do not want activism in terms of developing this country. And also, when we look further, the issue of, what did you say again?
Positions.
Positions, yeah. Now you can see, Kenya Kwanza, they have already taken the same people. Wamechukua cabinet yao. Raila amechukua cabinet yao. What about the people who are fighting for this country? That means we are going into a mode of recycling. Ukiona Kinangilu, they're not going to run. They are going. Mama Ngilu, step down. Let your daughter come into the. Hawa watu wengine hawa, they don't have the conscience to see what is happening. But the tsunami is coming. Now all those people, we shall not even work with them. Tukishinda elections, watarudi makwao na walipe zile loan na zile wizi wanataka. Unaona magavana saizi. Wameiba wakaiba. Gavana kiiba tu ama mtu mmoja kiiba pesa nyingi za serikali, anaenda wapi? Anaenda Azimio. Because Raila ndiye atakuwa president, wataficha hiyo. Wengine wanaenda kwa nani? Wanaenda. And we are also told that some of the monies that is being used here is foreign money. Wow. There are so many writings outside there that some politicians have gone to Kosovo to recognize Kosovo, so that when they take power, they will recognize Kosovo, which is a province of Serbia.
The question becomes, because you know, I want to really understand the dictatorship part, right?
Yes.
Because Duterte, he had a really great plan, right? He wanted to end, which was something that was plaguing. It's like you can equate the drug menace and the cartels to what we have here: corruption menace and cartels. It's so bad that even the kids now were getting into it. It was the same there. And he said, you know what? We can't keep talking. I'm going to shoot to kill. And eventually what you have is a humanitarian crisis. I mean, for those who are looking at it from outside. But then looking at this election, his daughter and the former president, which means there are some people who still, Kenyans loved it. Again, looking that we're not a banana republic. And you said that you're going to, the will of the people. How will you do it without, will you wait for the investigations to happen? And if so, if the investigations are to happen, we've seen what happens between police. By the time Nafika DCI, the investigation is not sufficient, DPP has nothing to prosecute. So how will you go about it?
Let me tell you this, I'm a lawyer of very high repute in this world. I represent presidents and advise presidents as we sit here. When you talk of the Filipinos, I'm very close to one of the former presidents of Philippines. And now when you spoke of Duarte, the former mayor of Manila, who became the president, obviously he himself was a thief before he reformed, before he became the mayor. So he knew how to deal with that. But his was autocratic. Ours is democratic in terms of the systems working. We ask Kenyans to look at the constitution. We ask laws to be done, and then we'll follow those laws. I'm not going to sit down with somebody who has bribed his way to parliament to ask him what will happen. I'll dictate. Trust me. When you have a vibrant constitution, I'm not going to sit down with those crooks that have come back to parliament through the back door to make noise the way they have made President Uhuru's government a lame duck republic, whereby if Uhuru says something, you say them yawning. They could not do that during Kenyatta One's government because there was order, and it was proper order. A country or a government without order is not a government. It's rhymed on chaotic kind of whatever. Some of those people have even come up and say tulikuwa tunavuta bangi parliament kwa choo. That is the former governor of Kiambu, Nasongo. Wanasema hata huko tunavutanga. And they're parliamentarian. You expect Professor Wajakoyah and Justina Wangoi to sit down and look at recklessness in parliament? No. Come on, look at Kagame. You may say what you want to say, but Kenya needs a vibrant, strong, people-oriented president, not just by talking because tunaenda pale. I've been outside for so many years. I have a lot of experience. I have seen things happen. We have been constituted to write the constitution of East Timor. I've been involved in peace. I am a lawyer for Tigray, which is fighting in Ethiopia. Why would Tigray take me as their lawyer? Why would Tanzanian opposition take me as their lawyer? Why would Chad former president take me as his lawyer? So we are talking of a person with massive experience. Look at us. We don't even have whatever. Mimi hulala sijui kama hulala. Nilikuwa na insomnia siku hizi mimi hulala. Because Kenyans are campaigning for us. The youth have taken this thing to another level. People are tired of this country. Unaona mama ambao are so educated like Omanga, I'm mentioning her because I will justify that. And if Commission of Communication wants to take people to court, I'll be the first. Anaenda kucheza kwa platform. Anatingiza namna hiyo akisema haya. And she has children. She has daughters. No. But who? But let me tell you. Us in our party, have you seen people wanaenda kucheza viuno huko ati?
But unasema that's your own strategy.
Come on. No. Guys, immorality and morality. Maybe she will add on. We have solidarity with morality. They have solidarity with immorality.
Prof, a quick one on a light note. Unajua in the country right now there's apathy, especially affecting the youth, especially the Rasta youth. Karawa na kuangalia hivi kuna dread, instantly you're a suspect. You know, there's this perception about Rasta youth. I mean, how are you willing to change that? And would you be willing to have a Rasta in your cabinet?
There will be Rastas everywhere. Rastas are everywhere, with or without dreadlocks. If you look at Jamaica, for example, I have land in Jamaica. I have a house in Montego Bay.
Wow.
You'll find out that in Jamaica, they have legalized weed, and they have only 1% of mad people as compared to 3 million Kenyans who are suffering from mental illness of various places, with 20% inpatients in Madare Mental Hospital, which were not told. And if you look at Rasta, we have Rastas who are lawyers, who are doctors, and Rasta is peacefulness. So if you look at the youth, don't just say Rasta. The youth in Kenya are tired with these people. That's why they are sending emissaries to me and Justina that prepare shilingi milioni 2 tukataa. Tumekataa. Na tutasema hiyo.
Justina, I have a question for you. Kuna party yenye hatujaguzia na hii kwanza inaguza sana my youth. If you don't know, Kenya is not even able to take part in AFCON qualifiers for 2023. The Premier League, watu walikuwa wanacheza no cap, right? And we have a lot of players when you watu wa no cap, you understand what I'm trying to say. We have a lot of players who are, career footballers whose lives have come to a standstill. What would you do to fix the issue with FKF?
The issue of youth is the causes of maybe the challenges we face as the youth ni kwamba unaona wazee wanakaa na prof ana miaka lakini ana akili za kijana. But ukiangalia wale wenye wako kwa the system, hata kama ni wanaangalizo AFCOM kwa hizo football ni wazee, unaona they don't bring in the fresh idea ya kijana.
But you can argue the head of FKF anaitwaje ule the guy Mwendwa is a young guy, vibrant, fresh,
lakini wale wenye anafanya kazi nao hawana hiyo idea. Si wengine ni wazee, na ndio tunasema we understand mbona wazee wanaogopa kuretire, because unaona utaacha kiti kubwa, utaacha status, ukienda ushago you have nothing to do. And that is why we are legalizing marijuana. Ndio ukitoka hata unakaa hivi unasema mimi nimefanya job miaka 20, wacha niondoke mwingine ajijenge. No, that is how youth are going to be part of empowerment and participation. So tukiangalia hata football, youth activities like music, like football are not given kipaumbele because our parents kwa idea yao their mindset was wewe kutoka shule ingia ofisi. But we are here na serikali ya Roots Party na Professor Wajakoya tunasema vijana si viongozi wa kesho. That is why I'm here. Vijana ni viongozi wa leo, so that we can be part of the decision making table. Kwa hivyo sisi tunasema tukiingia huko atuseme eti wazee waende, but we are giving them the option. Ondokea vijana pia wajipange na uende upande marijuana yako upate na pesa ya retirement bila kuteseka.
This was a great conversation, and I hope to have another conversation. At the top of the hour, I wanted to ask you to paint a picture for us. August 9th, real quick. No, August 10th. What does it look like?
Well, once we take over, we shall free all those who are in jail because of petty crimes, including marijuana.
I was just about to ask.
And then we shall actually invite them to State House to come and really pour their emotions out. Then from there, we shall go and smoke in Parliament.
Okay.
To throw out this imbecile, evil spirits, zile wa koloni na wale waizi. Lao taenda kwa kaburi ya Kenyatta, pia tumuombea hapo, tutoe hiyo mashetani. Then we shall finish with the KICC and then now do. But I will never sleep in State House.
All right, tumesikia guys, August 10th.
One thing nataka niache muyuth akisikia. We might read about the heroes of the past, but we are the architects of the future. Amkeni, kama una kura hautachukua, enda kini tukampainie. Make sure your parents, your aunties, your grandparents, kila mtu wa family na church elders wenyu watavotia Roots Party.
The news at the top of the hour.
Thank you so much.
Rebels and reggae heads, start your day the MVP way. Where you are the MVP. No negative vibes.